from the time I first started taking lives up until the Fed took me off the street. And even to this day, I've never had a bad dream, nightmare, wake up in the cold. Bro, all I dream about is women, money, sex.
And so, when did all of the additional murders get tied into this situation? Or were you never convicted and sentenced for those?
What you mean?
Because when I looked online, it was saying that you had what?
The 40?
Yeah, hands in.
Okay, so that came later on, like in 2018. So what I started doing, that didn't have nothing to do with my charge.
Okay,
That had something to do with helping me get out of prison.
Okay.
So that came about like 18, really started in 07. But the homicide detective that I was working with to close the closed case homicides, he wound up retiring and going to be a DA for New Orleans. So happened, he gets arrested, got in trouble for assault with one of the females, like a female. She got something going on, and he investigating, and they got to meet up to talk. And I guess he started feeling whatever. He got in trouble, so that slowed me up. That messed me up. So in 2010, I contacted a cold case. I don't know if she's still with her name, Descenda Barnes. Contact her, and she sent me pictures of High Boy Sterling, Mosquito doing them, and I had to tell her about the homicides, what we did, what happened. I was there, or if I played a part and put in the trigger. So during that course of her closing these cases, some of the family members I had to meet with.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the family members, they ask you questions like, did my son suffer, or did and I be having to remind them, like, just to try to ease the tension down, like, your son was a stepper as well. Your son deleted my partner said so. Your son did this. Had to ease, but it still don't make it right that I took her son's life or his son's life. I remember one man shook my hand and he gave me that hard shake, like, looked me dead in my eye and shook my hand. It was kind of tight. And he was like, as I read it, like his body language, like, well, if I ever catch you out here, I'm like, okay, that's my playground on the streets. You better about beat me up in jail or stab me in jail, but on the streets, that's roll. But that's where that come from. I never correct. Social media have a way of changing the narrative.
Yeah.
So when people were just saying, oh, he killed 40 people, I was like, all right, cool. I'm not going to correct that because now I'm going to get more interviews. Vlad called me back. I got Say Cheese, Real Life Street Stuff. So all these big platforms hit me back. Big D had called. I was like, all right, cool, let's roll.
Yeah.
But then later on, I went to, nah, that's not what I said. Excuse me, that's not how it happened. So eventually, you got to straighten.
So you were never convicted of any of them.
None of them. No.
You use that as a leverage tool to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I want. So how do you go about committing 15, 10 plus murders and being involved in? I'm just gonna say being involved in 40 murders and not getting caught.
Back in the days, we didn't have what's going on today.
Yeah.
You didn't have doorbell camera. You didn't have stoplight camera.
Yeah.
You didn't have cell phone where everybody and their little child recording. We didn't have that back then. Also, whenever you got arrested for a homicide, we had a police report, so we knew where you worked at, your social security, your date of birth, your phone number, address. We had all that back then. But when we moved, it was just different back then, man. It was different. That's how we didn't have all these cameras and all this stuff, all this technology they got today that they using today. We didn't have that back then.
Yeah. So when you doing it, is y'all disposing of the bodies or y'all leaving them there? Or
We
just
leave that
depend
stuff
on the
there.
situation?
A few times I watched my homies chop up bodies, but for the most part, we hitting and gone.
Yeah.
Because, we always was on point. One thing we was always on point on, don't put your fingerprints on the bullets.
Yeah.
So when we used to load up, we got a towel or glove, so we was always careful for that. But for the most part, let the people pick it up.
Gotcha. So what made what transitioned you into? So you start off as a street guy. What transitioned you into where you where you started taking people live?
When I took the first life at 10, I was 10 or 11. When I did that, I felt like, man, the power of the gun. So my mind always been, if I got 238s on me, or if I got a 9 on me, like at one point I remember having a 9mm with 16 rounds in there and 4 more clips in my back pocket, in my, 2 in one pocket, 2 in another pocket. I remember having that, in the project. So I'm like, or sometimes I had 2 9s on. So my thing always been, if I got a gun, Mac 90, AK or something, and it's, I don't care how many is y'all, I'm ready for war.
Gotcha.
Some bullets hurt. I've been hit up, so I know, I've been stabbed in the chest, so I've been tested, battle tested, been through all that. But once you take a life, for me, it was like an addiction. Like, man, I won't do it again. It just the feeling you get, especially somebody you can't stand, you don't like. That's why I don't like when people always say, I don't wish jail on my worst enemy. I understand they're trying to paint the picture how bad jail is, but don't use the worst enemy word because we can't stand our worst enemy. That's why it's our worst enemy, you know? But for me, man, once I start doing it, and they say in the phone, the rabbit got the gun. So when I start getting hit, I ain't like that part. But for me to be hitting somebody standing over taking their life, that was like a pleasure, a joy for me.
Gotcha. So you 10 years old and you catch your first one. What was the situation?
it was it was a situation where, come on, go do this. There you go, right there. I spoke on it before.
Yeah.
I got phone calls, backlash behind it, so I don't want to bring. People gonna be in your comments. They're gonna say what it is, but
Gotcha.
I took a hit, but I didn't get paid. I did it to show that, yeah, I can do it.
Gotcha. Like an initiation type deal.
It's kind of like, yeah, go ahead, boy, go ahead and bid. Let me see you really ready for this.
So walk me through the mindset at that point. This your first one.
I'm excited. This somebody I look up to, I want to hang out with, that I love, and I feel like I'm not about to let you down.
Gotcha.
I'm about to do this here. Even as long as I can hit the person, I feel like I accomplished something. Like, you mess with somebody I love.
Yeah.
So in my mind, like not nervous, not shaking. A lot of stuff be TV stuff we hear.
Yeah.
Because the average little youngster, when they put a gun in their hand, they feel like they powerful.
Yeah.
Because they know that noise and what's coming out there that put fear in people.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, like when people be clutching, how they say clutching or showing it to, like a person, big person, little person, whatever, could be get out the car, woofing. And the minute you show that thing, the whole attitude change.
So you like the power.
Yeah.
I told you so. I told you not to fuck with me.
Yes, sir.
So when you
Yeah.
let me tell you, so this the first one though. So you walking up, boom, you let it off. You ain't lose no sleep over it. You ain't feel no type of way about it. None of that.
From the time I first started taking lives up until the Fed took me off the street. And even to this day, I've never had a bad dream, a nightmare, wake up in the cold. Bro, all I dream about is women, money, sex. Real talk. Like I've never had a bad dream. And I tell people this, I think it comes from the mob. Because if you notice, any kind of trend or anything that go on, a man started, and then we'll take it and run with it. Sometimes people perceive to put in their mind, and man, and then some people, they're like parrots, they just repeat stuff.
Yeah.
Probably want a cracker, probably want. So I was infatuated with the mob, and this is why I say this, why I think it started with the mob, because I was infatuated with the mob when I was in feds. So I would get mob encyclopedias, and I came across a page where it said that whenever a mobster would delete someone, they would pluck the eyeballs out because they thought that the person who did the autopsy on his body could see the last person that this body seen.
Mm.
So that's like on some old superstitious type of stuff, you know? So I used to be like, or some voodoo, whatever you want to call it, type of stuff. So I was like, that's where this bull crap come from. So that's why a lot of people be asking that question, man, you ever had nightmare, cold sweat? No, man. I'm trying to think about that little fast, fine girl down the block, I'm gonna hit her, or who I'm gonna rob next, or who, what the next drugs I'm gonna get, a scope, that, or what car I'm gonna drive.
Yeah.
That be on my mind. Like I've never had a bad dream about that. I don't even think about that stuff.
Gotcha.
But I'm always on point aware of the families, yeah.
Yeah. So what are your religious beliefs?
I'm Muslim.
You Muslim.
Mhm.
Gotcha. So where you think you're gonna end up because of your action?
This is what I believe in Islam. Once you take Shahada, Allah, God, forgive you for all your sins, all your past, all that's forgiven. You have a new slate, you start all over again. Now, from that day on, when we commit sins, of course we're gonna be held accountable for that. Of course, when God raises us on their judgment, we're gonna be held accountable. I just pray that the book is held and my good deeds outweigh my bad deeds. But I'm trying to get to paradise. I'm trying to get to heaven.